Okay, so here is Miss Town Topic. This is an absolutely adorable, just under 16 hands. She's a 5-year-old thoroughbred mare by Aldrin, which is a Malibu Moon line, and she certainly lives up to everything that you would hope to find out of a Malibu Moon type of horse. And so I will say, full disclaimer here, that this work here to her left is most certainly not her best work, and she has gone much better than this and much straighter and softer and all the things. However, when I got on her, I'm not kidding you, within 2 minutes of getting on her, a backhoe comes rolling down the road, down our driveway. And if you look in the background right here as we go past our little house, you'll see that there's a backhoe right there. And they're working on our septic system. And you just can't time this stuff more perfectly, really. It's so ironic. So Miss Dream Point had to really deal with an enormous distraction. And this is a sporty, athletic type of horse. She's very aware and alive and all those things. So I have to say that even though, like right here, she's leaning a little bit on the left leg, she's a little bit distracted. It's not as nice as I've had it in the past, nor really ideal. However, she is being such a good girl and she maintained her rideability and she allowed me to ride her despite the backhoe, which is digging up our front yard like 100 feet from the ring. And it's very loud. There's lots of clanging. There's men shouting at each other. And it was just like the most distracting thing that could have possibly happened when I got on this horse. So actually, I'm so impressed with her. So that's why she looks a little bit more up in the contact. Ears are pricked because she's listening and she's watching, and it's a lot for any young horse to take in. And she actually handled it so, so well. So I just thought it was worth sharing this because it was a lot. It was a big ask of her to just continue on, and she did. So very impressed with her. We did take a walk break after we did this work to the left, and mercifully, they finished whatever they were doing with the backhoe and they left. Our plumbing people are kind of our neighbors. They live not far down the street from us, so they just ride their equipment on down the street, which no comment on that. But anyway, we took a walk break, they left, and then actually her work to the right was fantastic, and so she ended on a really good note. So I guess if I had to choose between starting really well and then having a huge distraction at the end of the ride, I would actually pick what happened, which is having to work through the distraction at the beginning of the ride, and then sort of have it go away. And she ended on such a super nice note. So this is our walk break. I was very happy with how relaxed she is at this point. She's walking along on a loose rein. She's lowered her pole. I think the backhoe is literally like just pulled out the driveway. So everybody, myself included, just takes a deep breath at this point. It's like, okay, now this is just a normal life ride. And so right away, she just sort of lowered the pole, took a breath, and her rideability here to the right is so good. And actually, this canter work to the right, this actually is, I think, the best canter work she's given me to the right, which was awesome. She's really, in this corner here, she found this kind of difficult in the past to really give me some right flexion in that spot. And here she's doing it absolutely beautifully. So I'm really, really happy with this canter work to the right. The horse's canter is incredible. I mean, it is so athletic and uphill and just compact and balanced and all the things. It's a really lovely feel to sit on her and work on her canter. So I'm glad that she gave me this nice work to the right. And also, I have to say, it's so annoying that, you probably noticed that the flash came out of the keeper. And so I find that very annoying. Unfortunately, I didn't realize it in our ride. So it's probably annoying her way more than it's annoying me, because I'm sure it's jumping up and bouncing her in the chin, which has to be so annoying for her. So she was a good girl to ignore that. So after we did our right canter work, I have to say that I tried something a little different with her, which is that I sort of let the reins out a little bit. And I'm not saying I rode her on the buckle, but I certainly rode her with a much looser contact here, a little bit of loop in the rein, not asking her to be quite as round. Of course, she's very capable of being super round and connected. However, because she is, a more sporty, athletic type of horse who is certainly quite a bit alive, it's actually really good for her to be able to just sort of take a breath and not be so kept together, to just be able to sort of plod around a little bit and not feel like I'm holding her together. So actually, I was really happy with this, how she kind of just went around in a relaxed frame. She's in a roundish frame, but the nose is poked out in front a bit, which I really like. Loopy rein, everything is